Let me ask you something that I really want you to think about. If someone hands you $10,000, what are you going to do with it? Would you put it in a savings account, buy something nice, or have absolutely no idea what you're going to do? You see, most people fall into that third category, not because they're not smart, because nobody ever taught them how money actually works. And today, that's exactly what we're going to change. You see, investment banking and wealth building through investment are topics that sound like they're supposed to be in a boardroom in Wall Street, but the truth is, they affect every single one of us, whether we realize it or not. I've spent time studying personal finance, investing, and how the financial system operates. And I'm here today not to try and sell you anything, not to push an opinion, but simply to educate you on how this world works so you can make informed decisions for your future. Today, I'm going to walk you through three things: what investment banking is and how the financial system works, how everyone can start building wealth through investing, and the risks that can come along the way. So let's start by pulling back the curtain on investment banking itself. Most people have heard the term investment bank, but what does it actually do? According to Investopedia, one of the most widely used financial education platforms on the planet, in an article updated in 2023, investment banking is defined as a specific division of banking related to the creation of capital for other companies, governments, and other entities. See, in layman terms, this basically means investment bankings are the middlemen of the financial world. They connect people and organizations who have money with people who need the money. Think of it this way. When a company wants to go public, meaning selling all their shares to everyday investors, they don't just show up on the stock market, they hire an investment bank to help them to do it. This process is called an IPO, or initial public offering. Investment banks also help governments raise money, advise on mergers and acquisitions, and this is when one company buys another and they help manage massive financial transactions that keep the global economy moving. According to investor.gov, the official investor education of the U.S. Securities Exchange and Commission, this is the SEC, updated in 2024, the SEC was created specifically to protect everyday investors and maintain fair, orderly, efficient markets. This means that there are systems in place designed to keep the financial world accountable. So while investment banking may sound like it only affects billionaires, it actually is the backbone of the economy that impacts your jobs, your retirement, and your financial future. Now that we understand how the financial system works, let's talk about how you can start participating. Here's the good news. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You just need to start. According to Investopedia in 2023, a guide on beginner investing, there are several key vehicles that everyday people use to start growing wealth. Number one is stocks. When you buy a stock, you're basically buying a small ownership stake in a company, and the company grows, so does your investment. Next, we have bonds. This is essentially loans that you take from the government, and they pay you back over interest. The lower the risk, the lower the reward. Now we have index funds. These are a collection of stocks in the market, like the S&P 500, and instead of betting on just one company, you're investing in hundreds at once. Warren Buffett, one of a great investor, the most wealthy man in the world, once said, an index fund is one of the best things a starter investor can invest in. But perhaps the most powerful concept of investing is what we call compound interest. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Here's why he said that. Compound interest means you cannot just earn interest, but you earn interest on your original investment. Over time, that snowball effect can turn into small, consistent contributions and significant wealth. For example, if a 25-year-old invests just $200 a month in an index fund with a 7% annual return, by the time they're 65, they could have over $500,000 from just $200 a month. And you see, the key principle here is time in the market, not timing the market. The earlier you start, the more powerful compounding becomes. But investing isn't coming without risks. So let's talk about how to protect yourself. No conversation in investing is complete without talking about risk. According to investor.gov, published in the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, SEC, in 2024, all investments carry some level of risk, and the understanding of that risk is essential before putting your money anywhere. You see, the market goes up and the market goes down. This is what we call validity, and that's completely normal. You see, the mistake most new investors make is panicking when the market drops and they start pulling their money out. History shows that the market always recovers over time, and one of the most important tools for managing risks is diversification, which simply means not putting all your eggs in one basket. You have to spread your investments across different industries or different types of companies. That way, if one area takes a hit, your entire portfolio doesn't collapse. There's also a difference between short-term and long-term investing. See, short-term investing is trying to make quick money. It's generally high risk and kind of leads to, significant losses here and there. But long-term is staying consistent over years and decades. This is where real wealth is built. Finally, you have to watch out for the most common mistake in chasing hot stocks. You see, based on social media hype, what your friend might say, family might say, you could lose money any kind of way. Also, not having an emergency fund before you start investing. If you don't have an emergency fund and you take a large hit, you have nothing to build back up with. But the bottom line, starting investing, it's not about getting rich quick. It's about building wealth steadily, strategically, and patiently. So, let's bring it all together. Today, we covered 3 things: what investment banking is and the role it plays in our financial system, how everyday people can begin growing their wealth through stocks, bonds, index funds, and the power of compound interest, along with the risks that come with all of that in general. In my closing remarks, I would like to say you don't have to be rich to start investing, nor do you have to be a Wall Street banker. You just have to start. The financial system isn't going anywhere. The question is whether you're going to be a spectator watching from the outside or a participant building something for your future. Knowledge is the first investment, and today you made it. Thank you for your time.